Hello, folks. This is David at the From the Hip podcast. We are here at the Say What podcast studio, and we're sponsored by the Covenant Studios. And today I have the pleasure of having a legend around town, good or bad. He's a legend. I've got Logan Grey with me. And Logan is, shall we say, controversial sometimes?
Sometimes.
So, Logan, introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, Logan Grey is just basically, it's a brand name, which everybody knows this. My real name is Kenny. I answer to either. I don't care, so I'm good to go either way. Actually, Liz has me in her phone as Kenny Grey. I've got her in my phone as Butthead. So
As what?
Butthead.
Oh, Butthead?
Yeah, because she is. She knows it.
Well, okay. You said Liz. And everybody may not know Liz that you're talking about.
Liz is, y'all been knowing her by Liz Chandler. She is my muse. She is my friend. We have been shooting together for just over 9 years now. We've done 96 shoots together so far, and I had to bring her along.
Yeah. He's wearing Liz today.
Well, she wasn't going to be able to make it, so I had to bring her.
Okay.
This was just it. That's all there was to it. So, anyways, but yeah, that's Liz.
Logan's a local photographer.
Yeah, I've been shooting now for over 18 years. Started off, well, as far as doing this, started off with Minolta, Sony bought them out, and I've been using Sony ever since. Most people.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Condolences.
Well, you got Canon?
Yeah.
But most people are starting to go over to the mirrorless, but I'm just still using the DSLRs. I've gone through quite a few of theirs. I'm currently on the 77A2. I've tried the 99-2. I just didn't like it as much. So I just went back to the 77, and I've got like 3 or 4 of those critters just sitting.
Collecting dust?
No, actually, I got them bagged up with those little moisture packs sitting off in them so that they don't tear up on me. But now I just get up to so many clicks, and I'm like, okay, it's time to get a new one. Although that one's perfectly fine. Sometimes I pass them over to my daughter because she likes to take photos as well. Then she's like me. She is ADD, so she'll be doing this. Next thing you know, she's off over there somewhere, So anyways, generally what I do shoot is art, glamour, lifestyle. I supply all my wardrobe to all of my shoots because it's the only way I'm going to get what's up here, on film. This way I don't have to rely on somebody else to keep bringing, especially models. A lot of them have their own wardrobe that they use for modeling. They go out and spend their money for, and it gets shot half a dozen times, and then no. I just don't want to sit there and shoot something that somebody else has already shot.
Glenn Wilson, who's running the sound and video board for us today, he shoots at Covenant Studios a lot. And he doesn't, well, he'll shoot a set one time.
Right.
And then he won't shoot that set again because he doesn't want to have something that somebody else has.
Right.
And it could even be the same model on the same set, different photographer.
Yeah, that's why I give once we're done with that set, they just take the clothing home with them. Because I will never shoot it again. I do have a lot of tendencies of things that I do like to shoot. Prime example, let's say like boho. I will go out and find me crocheted tops. I'll find me various tops that I could use for a boho set. Same thing with dresses, as well as those maxi skirts. No two of them are the same. They're various colors, various shapes, various sizes. But I love shooting that style in boho. I'll do this, same thing with bikinis. I like string bikinis versus ones that don't have the strings on them. So I do get a lot of string bikinis as much as I can. But, like I said, I just go through, buy them, because right now, because everything's been running really, really slow the past couple of years, and I can't stop myself from buying stuff. I
You sound like a woman now.
Oh, I'm worse. I am totally worse when it comes to shopping. Currently at my house, in my closets, I have over 600 items ready to be shot through about a dozen different projects or series of projects that I've been working on for years. But anyways, a lot of, like I said, I try to keep my sizes between extra small and medium because that's pretty much what I shoot. And then we're fixing to get into a little bit of this controversy. I have in my head what I want to see in front of my camera as far as what I seen up here initially. As we know, Liz is my muse. First thing that goes through my head is her. Then it's like, okay, well, because we have so much to shoot right now as it is, and we've been having to put stuff back because of life getting in the way. I've got shoots lined up for her through next summer, but I have to find a substitute, and so that's when I have to go. I'll post my little casting calls and so forth, but I tell everybody the same thing. This is what I have. This is what I want to shoot. Here's what I'm looking for to shoot.
So you're looking for somebody to fit the clothes.
Looking for somebody to fit the clothing. Like I said, basically what I tell them all, looking for 18 plus, and a lot of that has to do with the content.
18 years old.
18 years old and higher. Because yes, a lot of the stuff I have is sheer clothing. I'm not going to put a minor in it.
Do you have a upper limit on the age that you'll shoot?
Not really. All I'm looking for after that is they've got to be in shape, height, weight, proportionate, photogenic, follow directions, good communication. That's really it. It's just that now, well, let's see, how do we want to put this? I'm going to try to do this delicately. You have what they call normal model size, and you have what's called plus model size. Okay, those came from the fashion industry. They have their standards as far as what fits which category, and there's not like one single line that separates the two. There is a gap in between those sizes. Like for normal models, they want 5'10" size 0, size 2.
Yeah,
Whereas-
5'9", I think, is the minimum they'll look at.
Well, sometimes you get away with 5'7" and 5'8", but those are rare. Those are like Kate Moss kind of situation. She's short. But that's, 5'9", 5'10". They want right there. And then when it comes to plus size models, same height, except for they're no longer looking at size 0 to size 2. They're now looking at size, I think it's 8 and 10 or 10 and 12 or something like that.
Probably 10 and 12.
It's a big gap.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people out there in between there. They don't know where they fit. So what happens is you got a lot of they're coming up with different terms, as far as curvy, thick, BBW. Let's see here, just all kinds of different things. But the one thing about, like I said, when we're dealing with the fashion is, like I said, they still have their parameters. They, as far as what they're actually looking for, I'm the same way, except for mine's a lot wider than what theirs is. I don't care about your height. I mean, Liz is like 5'3", 5'4", something like that. So I don't care about your height. And she is thick. The girl's got a booty on her. The girl's got some thighs on her. But she fits herself together well. Not everybody with her same height and weight and measurements will. Sometimes they're going to just not be put together like what she is. Not that I expect everybody to be. It's just like young lady that just left out of here. She's thin, but she looks good for her build. She's somebody with her build, yes, I would have no problems putting her into several of my looks and get something good out of it. Whereas somebody who's built more like me, no, I'm sorry. It's modeling to me. It's just like I was telling you earlier. I compare it to sports a lot. It's like it's not easy. If it was, everybody could do it. Then what's the purpose of doing it? Okay. I think I mentioned earlier this week about some of the double standards that we have with photographers versus models. with photographers, it's kind of like, if you don't know your stuff, if you cannot get what you want with what you have, then you're just another guy with a camera, regardless of what your content is. Whereas, oh, anybody wants to be a model, they can be a model. You can't discriminate because she's this or this or this or this. Why not? You can discriminate against this side of the camera. Why can't you discriminate on the other side of the camera? I just have what's up in here that it's going to be done that way with somebody who fits that look.
Mold.
Yeah, fits that mold. And like I said, I've got flexibility in there, but it's not something just anybody can walk in and say, yes, I can do it. I recently, what was it? No, I take it back. It wasn't recent. It was a year ago. It took me 3 years to do this shoot. It was from a dress that I'd bought. I was going to shoot it in the snow. Problem was,
Texas.
yeah, you never know when you're going to get it, how much you're going to get, where it's going to go. And being that I was going to try to shoot this in a park in my neighborhood, I also had to try to find a model that lived fairly close by. Okay, because I didn't want somebody coming from Richardson or West Fort Worth driving through that crap and then coming. No, it would have to be somebody extremely close for I to even consider it. So I was watching YouTube one day and I came across this one photographer who did something extremely similar to what I wanted to do, but he did it in the studio. I was like, oh, hell yeah. I modified what I had up in here to fit a studio setting versus on location. Found a model who would do it because I added a second dress to it. I added a couple of other nude portions to it. One of them was just where I just sprayed her blue and white to match the coolness, and also put gems on her body.
What did you spray her with?
That hair body spray paint that you go get
Okay.
at wherever Party City and stuff. Stuff works pretty well. And anyways, then I ordered me some canned snow.
Made him look like a Smurf?
Not quite, not quite. But because I threw a lot of white in there too, just to get the break up. Got me some canned snow, sat there and started doing all this and just letting it fall, taking the shots, backlighting her with different colored gels. I'd say overall, I got pretty close to what I wanted. Now, over the course of this time frame, when I was figuring this out, I had several models say, yes, I want to shoot that dress. Well, you don't fit the dress. Then when I was sitting there, then I said, okay, I'll do the dress, but I won't do the nude. Then you're not going to do the shoot. It's just that I had this whole thing set up, and I am not, as I state, I put this on my website because I'm probably one of the few people out there that do this. I got a form on my website for new to be models to fill out. And it clearly stayed on there. No, I will not accommodate your inhibitions, and no more than I will ask you to accommodate me not having any. So this is the way the shoot's going to go. If you're comfortable within that frame, great, let's get it shot. If you're not, then if I like your look enough, let's find something I can shoot you in. It's not, I'd say most of my stuff does have some degree of either outright exposure, whether it be a full nude, topless, bare bum, or something of that nature. A lot of the stuff I have is sheer clothing, or it will be once it gets wet if it was intended to be shot in the rain or in a lake or something of that setting. And so I keep all of this completely out front for everybody so they understand that.
Do they read, though?
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. See, another thing is I do ask for images. I got 4 images of Liz on that page showing exactly what I'm looking for. Basically, stand up straight, just a full frontal shot, pair of panties and a tube top, which I'll remind me. I'm going to tell you something about those pictures in a second. And then one profile, just standing there. Same thing, and then 2 headshots, one with makeup, one without makeup. I want to see just stand up straight. I want to see the build, and I want to see
Similar to what the agencies used to ask for.
probably.
Yeah, because they know what makeup can do. Mm-hmm. But they want to know what you look like.
Without it. They
Well,
want a clean face.
Yes.
Okay. And which is what I'm looking
And they
for.
want a profile, and they want to see what your figure is.
Now, because I do a lot of new topless, sheer, implied shoots, I think, when did I put those up? I think I did that shoot a year and a half ago, the profile, well, the full body shots of Liz. Before that, I had my friend Miranda, she let me use a couple of her photos that were topless, because that's what I was asking for. I wanted to see how everything set naturally. Now, a lot of people criticize me for doing that, for asking for those images. And I'm like, I don't care. That's what I'm going to shoot. If somebody cannot provide, is not comfortable sending those types of images, then they're not comfortable shooting what I'm going to shoot. Now, once I had those up with those old images with Miranda, I was still getting people submitting me their stuff. My flake ratio dropped down to about maybe 25-30%. Since I changed it, submissions have actually gone down, and the flake ratio has gone up because people are not reading. They cannot follow directions. I mean, and that's all they're doing, is they're going straight to that page. I've got several other pages on there specifically for models, especially newer models. I know a lot of people out there like to sit there and tell new models that things that will actually, they may benefit them to some degree, but they're going to benefit this person as well, the one spewing all the garbage. I tried to be as neutral about it as possible, as far as basically telling models to make up their own decisions, make up their own mind. Yes, if you've got a lot of them that I've come across over the years, they will sit there and say, whatever you do, don't tag me, don't put me on social media, don't do this. They have no problems doing the shoots. They just don't want them to be out there to where family can find them or their employers can find them. They're open and everything. They just can't have it out there for them. To me, that's just, I can't do anything with that. If I cannot display my work, it's a waste of my time.
Right.
So that's why I always will make sure that they can do that. I shot a model recently. She's fairly new to modeling. And I was like, okay, I'll let her pick everything out. I actually this is one of the few times I kept a shoot actually PG. She picked out everything, and she really liked her images. She ended up, and of the ones that she posted, she ended up taking like 2 of the sets completely out, because one of them was a bikini. Apparently somebody in her family said something to her about it. Although, I mean, there's nothing exposed anywhere. Oh, and there was another one of the one outfit that I picked out, which was a jersey style spaghetti strap bodycon dress. It unbuttoned down right about to here, which we left it unbuttoned. Yeah, throw it over the shoulder. This is still bare, but you can sit there and see she's perfectly covered with the dress. I think we got a couple of slips out of it, but those, can't use them. We already discussed all of that. They weren't going to get used anyway, so it's no big deal. We just used what we used on social media. But she ended up taking like all of those images down, as well as the bikini images down, and she'd asked me not to tag her in any of them because of her family. My family, half of them want to disown me because of what I shoot. I don't care. It's called This Is Me. Take me, leave me, whatever. I don't care. This is what I'm going to do. You don't like it, don't look at it. It's kind of like what we used to have to do back in the day. You don't like this program, you send the kid up there, change the channel. Okay?
Yeah.
As simple as that. You don't have to look at it. If you don't like it, just change the channel. Or nowadays, just scroll down a couple of inches on your phone and you'll find something else to look at.
Watch where you put your arm, because you're making noise.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Yeah, I got no filter. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But anyways, it's. I am just very particular about what I have in front of me when I do my shoots. I've seen a lot of new models in the area through some of these groups, and some of them, I would love to sit there and shoot them. Whenever they make their little opening post in the groups and introducing themselves, the same thing. Just go over, look at my work. Here's the form, fill it out. Not chasing them. There's been a few models in the past that I really, really wanted to shoot, And so on occasion, I wouldn't do it like weekly or monthly, usually once or twice a year. I'd just send them a little message through social. Hey, my camera's ready if you ever want to come see me. The problem, back in back in the 80s and sitting in, hell, even the 90s, if you sat there and was sitting there trying to talk to somebody about whatever, just trying to arrange a meeting, or they would sit there and say, hey, I'm not interested. Nowadays, they just don't even bother with you. They won't even, you can sit there and see when they've read it, you know.
Right.
But, nah, they just let it go. To me, and a lot of people my age and even older, that's about as rude as hell. But nowadays, they just consider
What's
it normal.
worse,
Yeah.
and I get a lot of this on Instagram, somebody will send me a message and they want something. And I'll say, no, I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hammer on you over and over and over. And I eventually just hit the delete key.
That's what I do. If I get something on any of my social, if it's something I have that they can't see that I've seen it, I just leave it alone. Because it's usually guys thinking that I'm Liz, and they're just sitting there wanting to talk me up. Yeah.
But you can't blame them for that, can you?
Nope. Can't do that.
Really?
Can't not blame them for that whatsoever. But that I'm just not. I just kind of leave them alone, leave them hanging. I ain't gonna sit there and lead them on or nothing. I have done it on occasion. Just been very vague with what I say to them. Let them think that they're talking to Liz, and then until it actually comes out. But it's been rare that I've done that. I usually have to be bored to do it. But you mentioned IG on Instagram. That's another thing that these models will do. Whenever I take and post my little things on these groups, I'll sit there and very specific. If you're new to me, go to the website. Okay, very specific. Don't leave no comments. Don't say I'm interested. If you've been around Model Mayhem back in the day, any casting call you've seen about 20 or 30. I'm interested. And if you go to all the rest of them, it's the exact same daggum models. I'm interested. I mean, it's like they copy and paste it and put it everywhere, and it's what they look like they do in these groups now. But nowadays, not only they're putting I'm interested, they're also adding their IG link. Now, when you actually click on that and go to their Instagram, private.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I've sat there and I've done that a couple of times when they first started doing that to me. I would go through and follow them. I would send them a message through Instagram and tell them, here's what you need to do. Never hear back from them. Okay, fine. After a couple of weeks of that, I go back and I unfollow them because 90% of the time, that's all they're trying to do is gather more followers on their social media. Followers do not pay your bills. Okay. You have 100,000. I don't care. Only about 3% maybe you're going to see whatever you post. Maybe 3%. And then out of those, maybe 1% of them might actually react to it. So I don't, like currently on my social media, I do the same thing every morning. I'll get on Facebook and I'll post an image. And I have my little copy and paste little information on there. See, here's the model, here's the year I posted her in. If she's got a box on my BentBox account, then I'll post a link on that for them as well. The link in my Linktree account, because that's where everything is. It's just one spot. You can go through BentBox, Patreon, my website, and all my other social medias. Everything's just right there. I'll go to Instagram, make the post. I'll go to Twitter or X, whatever the heck they want to call it nowadays. But I'll go there and make the exact same post. It's the exact same image, exact same post on all of them. And then I'm pretty much done with social media for the day.
The girl here before you, Alyssa Mayo,
Yeah.
we were talking on a similar subject. I've got 5 socials,
Right.
plus YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pain to go to each one of them and retype all the information.
Copy and paste.
And so we believe there's a service out there where you go ABC service and you put in all your socials and you post one time with the information and you schedule it to hit them
Right.
whatever time frame you want.
I
That'd be handy as hell.
If somebody who's got, like I said, I've got 4 of them that I keep up with that I actually do that too. So it's just those 4. And once I decide what image I'm going to post that morning, like, prime example, like I was telling you, next Saturday, me and Liz, we've got 12 sets that we're going to be doing. So for the next 12 days, it's just going to be 1 image per set from what we're shoot. And once I run out of those, if I haven't done another shoot with somebody else, then I'll just go back to my archives and randomly start picking stuff. Now this week I've done several shoots with models on my motorcycle. And so I started it on Sundays. I was like, okay, I'll just run them through the rest of the week. So every morning I sit there and find somebody else who shot on my bike, grab an image I can post it, and just go about my day. Just wish I had access to more of my archives because I had 2 drives that are gone. We're talking
online or in the cloud backup.
Well, here's what I'd done. Since all that happened, I had a total of 4 drives that just gave up the ghost. 2 of those drives I was actually able to recover quite a few of my raw images.
But that's not cheap.
Well, Amazon Photos allows you to upload unlimited images for Prime members.
Right.
They accepted all of my raws. I've got 250,000 images on that sucker right now.
How long did that take?
Days. I didn't care. I would just go through. I had to reorganize everything because of the way the program pulled everything up. So I had to go back through, reorganize everything the way I like it, which is, like, say, this year, 2024 folder, open it up, and then everything is listed by date in order, and it has the model's name right there next to it. So open that one up, there's my raw files, and then I can just upload them straight up. And then if I'm like, Liz is the only one out there I did not lose anything because I always kept a separate folder of all of her raw images. And I've told her this before, and she's the only one I'm going to do this to. If for some reason I end up dying before she does, which I plan on outliving my kids, which I've told them that forever. But for some reason I end up dying before she does, she's going to get her raws. My daughter knows this because she's going to have access to everything else. Hell, she might even take over Logan Grey. But all of Liz's stuff is going back to her. She can have her raws. She will have full ownership of them. Do with them as she pleases. I won't do that for anybody else. Everybody else, they want them, they can go through my daughter. But anyways, the cloud. So yeah, I sat there and just uploaded them that way. Liz's stuff, I put all her stuff in their own folder, so I'll never have to worry about having to find those things again. But I lost a lot of them. Now, what's really sad is I don't know how to listen to people. So from 2006 to 2010, I never shot RAW. I only shot JPEG. Because I didn't have external storage at that time, I've deleted a lot of images during those first few years.
I'm going to take a step back in time.
Go for it.
At some point may have been 2007 or 8, I ran across you as a photographer and online. Mm-hmm. And you bragged that you did not retouch, mm-hmm. and you shot only JPEG, and mostly all natural light.
Mm-hmm. Guilty.
And
arrogance.
He said it, folks. I didn't.
Hey, I am. Well, I'm not as bad anymore. I have learned. We'll put it this way. I was one of those people, and the 2 gentlemen I spoke to you earlier about, Jeff and Brian, they'll tell you. Yeah, I was a know-it-all little piece of turd crap, whatever you want to call it. I was bad. I admit it. I was bad. And I was that way. And this is coming from somebody. Okay, now, when I was a teenager and I was a kid, yeah, I loved taking photos. You know, we didn't have good cameras back then. If I was lucky, I had a Polaroid. My mom mostly had those little Kodak 110s.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, whatever I could get a hold of, take pictures with, I took pictures with. But like I said, I was a shutterbug at best. I just liked to take pictures. I didn't know anything about anything. And then I got my first 35 millimeter after I got out of the Marine Corps. And
Film?
film.
Okay.
I still have it. It was a Minolta 3XI. I did a lot of shoots for, this is personal stuff, but I basically used it as a dadgum high dollar point and shoot. I didn't know nothing about those damn settings. I mean, this was my mindset. And this was my mindset up till about 2010. And this started in 1991. No, was it? Yeah, 1991 is when I bought that one. But so for 20 years, this was my mindset. That damn camera knows more about what it's doing than what I do, so I'm going to let it do it. So I stuck it on automatic and go. So that tells you how much of a dumb butt I was. And then Brian.
Well, be comfortable in the knowledge. You're not the only one.
Oh, I know. We all, like I said, I just got no problems admitting I was a dumbass. But but yeah, then because Brian, for the entire time I've known, I met him online 2006. I actually met him in person probably a year or so, roughly after that. He's one of less than a dozen photographers I've actually met in this town. That, like I was telling you earlier, to me, the town, DFW, and all the surrounding counties. So that's quite a bit of area, and I've only met like half a dozen on the high end. But I actually met him in person, and he was sitting there telling me, man, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, just so you can get everything right. So you can get these images the way that you want them, not the way it's going to come out, okay? And so January and February of 2011, circumstances dictated I ended up going to Florida for 2 months. And while I was there, flipped the switch, started taking photos. I was posting them online. Brian says, I don't know what the hell you did, what you was doing in Florida, babe, but your work went from here to here overnight. Yeah, I started listening to you. Just like I told you earlier, the first time I shot up here was the first time I ever used strobes.
Oh, I know.
Because you taught me that, and thank you very much. But whenever I got home, I was telling you this earlier, but so when I got home, I looked at the images on my computer, started contacting Brian again. He's like, dude, why didn't you tell me to start shooting strobes 15 years ago? He's like, dude, I've been trying to get you to do that for the past 15 years. I said, you didn't try hard enough. Because what people don't
Some
know,
people you just can't convince.
I'm one
right,
of them.
Lynn?
We'll put it, I am one of the most hard-headed people you will ever meet. There's a lot of things that has happened, in our community as far as, like right now, I'm still using a DSLR, and a lot of people are already switching over to mirrorless. It's not going to do anything for me that I can't do with my DSLR.
No, it's not.
It's just going to cost more money out of my pocket. I got new lenses. I got,
There's one advantage to me, and the reason I switched over was the eye focus capability.
Okay.
And you miss focus a lot less with it. Mm-hmm. And then having the studio, I have to support a lot of cameras because not everybody knows their camera as well as they should.
Right.
And so a new animal is now shooting, and that's the mirrorless. Well, if I'm going to support it, I need to know a little bit something about it.
Right.
So I went from the Canon 5D Mark II, which does everything I needed it to do, to the Canon mirrorless, mainly for the eye focus and to see the new features that I was going to have to support.
Right.
But except for the eye focus, you're right. Your DSLR will do everything you need to do.
Yeah, one thing, like I said, once I started shooting in
Correctly?
Correctly, it's kind of like, okay, I had to sit there and teach myself, either through tutorials online, making phone calls, asking questions, as far as how to get what I want out of here onto here. And yeah, it took me a little bit of time, but I kind of do things at my pace. One thing that always bothered me, and I would see this quite often, people giving like unsolicited, critiques. I mean, I've only got one finger to say to them, but anyways, it's kind of like if I have a question as far as how to do something, I got somebody to call. How do I get this to do this? How do I get this light? How do I do this? They'll tell me. I'll go out, I'll figure it out, I'll practice it, I'll use what they told me to. Got it? Okay. I will use it when I want to, and when I'm ready to learn something else, I will ask a question, where can I get this information, or I'll just research it, but I will do things at the pace I want. Main reason is because anytime I see, like I said, I see those critiques, it's a matter of, if you would have done it this way, then your work would look like mine. If I wanted my work to look like yours, I would just hire you. That's another thing. Used to be a time, and I can still do it to some extent still today, but there used to be a time I could look at an image, no watermark, tell you who shot it, okay, especially here in town. I could tell just by the way it was framed, by their editing processes, the backgrounds that they use, especially when they shot on location. I could do that quite often. Couldn't do it 100%, but I could do it quite often.
A lot of people shoot the same location over and over and over. Well, you've got your favorite location.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, Jeff Benham, Visions East Photography. He's semi-retired. But I found a barn out in Mansfield several years ago. This is probably 12, 14 years ago. So it was about 2011, 2012 is when I came across it. He's like, dude, where's that barn at? So I showed him where it was at. And he did a lot of shoots out there. He loved that barn. And then it finally caved in.
Oh, the barn did?
But yeah, he loved that barn, which I did too. I love shooting out there. There was a creek over there off of 360 in New York I found one day by accident. And I'd done a lot of shoots out there. He's, hey, where's that creek at? I told him where it was at. He loves doing shoots out there as well. But yeah, like I said, that was pretty limited as far as places I would like to shoot at. Being I was living in Mansfield at the time, I found a few local parks that I could go out there and shoot at with no problems. Again, dealing with the content that I shoot,
right?
I have to scout areas. I have to see what foot traffic is. Where can I go that's out of the way, where I don't have to worry about people stumbling up on me. I was shooting one girl out in this park out in Mansfield one day. We were just, we were just recently started. She's wearing shorts and a top that we had tied off right here, and a pair of boots. Okay, out there in the middle of the sidewalk, the walking path, cop pops up out of nowhere. What y'all doing out here? Didn't believe a word I said. Made me go walk away so he could talk to her. I was like, man, get out of here. So anyways, we did what we was going to do there. Then we went under the bridge that's Main Street, I think that is right there. So we went under Main Street and finished up our shoot off over there, because what I was shooting over there, I wasn't going to shoot out in the middle of the park. But I've actually found lots of places up and down Joe Pool Lake at the Cedar Hill State Park side of it. From the North Dam till probably a couple miles. I've shot all up and down through there.
The state park over there is a great place to shoot. There's lots of options.
Oh, yeah.
The old tractor, the barn, the house.
Penn Farm, which I've shot nudes all over that with no problems. Because, like I said, I'm very aware of my surroundings. I know a lot of people like to listen to music when they're doing their shoots. I do too. When I'm in the studio, don't care. Let's listen to whatever you want to listen to. I'm good. When you're shooting out on location, pending the location, you want to turn those radios off. Turn the music off, because I'm constantly listening
For somebody coming.
Because look, prime example. Let's say there's just a couple strolling the farm area. They're talking.
Yeah.
If I got music going, I'm not going to hear them. So if I hear them coming, I can just, like I said, if we're just inside the barn, I can just step out, see where they're at. Okay, I can see where they're at. I can see which way they're going. Do you need to put this back on now, or are we close enough to the end of this set to where, hey, I can step out, let them know, hey, my model's in here changing, and they don't go that way.
Yeah.
They have a better understanding. Okay, let's
They need
not
privacy.
respect her privacy. Let her change, and they have no idea what in the world we were just doing 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Well, as far as taking pictures. Anyways, so like I said, I do the same thing out there on the lake. Let's see here. The next one I have planned out there is in a couple of weeks, and we're doing this on a Monday again now. So with it being Monday, middle of the day, everybody's at school, everybody's at work. I got a lot more freedom to do what I want out there within reason. Whereas if this was on a Sunday or a Saturday this time of the year, we got to walk a half mile down the dadgum shoreline to get away from everybody just so we can shoot. So,
Except the boat traffic.
huh?
Except the boat
Oh,
traffic.
who cares about them? I like it when the boats go by, the jet skis go by. They cause the waves. I'm like, when I start seeing them, hitting on the legs, drop down. Let's get that stuff splashing on your backside. Let's get the waves crashing over you, or at least what we can get. And I'd say I get one shot out of about 30. Because I'll sit there and make a quick adjustment on my camera right quick and just put it on that rapid fire. Okay.
How many shots do you take on a normal shoot?
Oh, gosh. It
Let's say a
varies.
2-hour shoot.
Okay. Liz is probably going to be my best example of doing this, which I told you earlier what we did in a 30-minute time frame.
Right.
Pending the model, pending the outfit, pending how many I've actually got lined up as far as how many outfits we're looking to do, I will sit there and keep my frame count per look 50-ish. Sometimes I might go a little less. Sometimes I might even go a little bit more if I'm really liking everything that we're getting. Although I'm only going to show one of them on social media. So, I mean, I'll sit there and I'll have all these great images of this model, and it's like, I'm only going to display one, which gives me another 40 or so to look at later if I have to start posting stuff from archives. But because they'll end up in a box on Bent Box, my fans of mine, my fans of hers, they'll sit there and they'll have access to the full shoot. So that's one of the reasons why I'll sit there and do that, so that they get access to it. Liz is a little bit different story as far as everybody else, though. Because of her occupation, certain things of her cannot be posted online for general public. I have to censor a few of hers every once in a while, just to make it safe for social media. But because of her occupation, I can't even I wouldn't even post those normally on Bent Box. And we will sit there and shoot things that she will not shoot with anybody else. We have that kind of rapport together. She trusts me that much that this is where it's going to go. And because of her coworkers being a bunch of jerks, okay, and that's putting it mildly based on what she's
Just don't
told
mention
me.
the industry.
Huh?
Don't mention the industry.
No, I'm not, as far as what her actual occupation is.
Yeah.
But anyways, I took several of her shoots and put them on there and priced them out high enough to where they are not going to go pay for them. But she still has a few of her fans that will go out and pay that money for those. Again, she's the only one I do this for. Is everything that we make off of her boxes, she gets half. Okay, I don't do it with anybody else. Nobody else will sit there and advertise those boxes. She does.
And nobody will put the work in either.
I mean, she doesn't post as much as I would like to see her post.
Well, I mean on the shoot itself.
Now, run that by me one more time just so I make sure I understand what you're talking about.
She puts a lot of effort into the shoot. Probably more so than other models would.
When she's in the mood. Sometimes she comes in tired. I mean,
But she's a woman.
yeah. Well, that, and I usually get her after she's gotten off, a 2-day shift, sometimes a
Yeah.
4-day shift. And those are 24-hour shifts. So I've actually shot her just dragging butt after working 96 hours straight, and still go through and do the shoot. And the only reason why she even bothered to show up is because she knows that I've had this thing planned. She said she was going to be there, and she'll show up. Now, if her job makes her stay, okay, we're both screwed on that one. But anyways, that has happened more than once. But anyways, but now she's been, as far as what we've made off of that over the past year, off of just the bent art. Yeah, it's helped her out quite a bit, especially since she jacked up her knee last fall, and she had to go on light duty at work. She wasn't making, the same money with no overtime
Right.
and stuff like that. So it's helped keep her head, floating above water and so forth. But
So now, speaking of occupations, you have, you call it your part-time?
my part-time, I do work for let's see here, a nationwide parts house part-time. Back in '83, when I was still a junior in high school, I started working at Western Auto, busting tires, changing oil, and stuff like that. And I have not really been able to get out of the automotive industry since. Spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, came right back to it. So I've done parts, I've wrote service, I've turned wrenches, I've sold cars, I've done paint and body work when I was in high school. The only thing that comes to cars that I have not done is I don't really mess with transmissions. I don't really get too involved in electrical, and I don't design them. But everything else, yeah, I have done on some level at some time, for some period of time, for the past 40 years. So
So how often do you shoot?
not as often as I want to. Now, before COVID, I can tell you, I was doing, on average, and this goes all the way back to '06 when I started. Well, the first year, I think I put out, 60 or 80 shoots during that first year. After that, I've been 100 to 125 consistently. And now this is even when I was shooting like crap.
Now, just a year?
Huh?
125 a year?
A year. I mean, I
Okay,
was-
so a dozen a month.
Easy. I was doing, sometimes I would do 8 to 12, sometimes I'd do 12 to 15 a month. I was constantly shooting. Like I said, even those first couple of years. Matter of fact, the very first girl I shot to start my portfolio with, she liked her images so damn much. She goes, "Hey, can you come back to my apartment in a couple of weeks so we can do a nude shoot for her then boyfriend?" Sure. Went back, we did the shoot. Neither one of us liked them. I spent the next year learning how to do them.
Oh,
Never had a shortage. Never had a shortage of girls between the ages of 18 and 25 wanting to come over to my apartment where I was doing these shoots at, to where I set up my little makeshift studio, to take their damn clothes off so I could practice. No shortage. Then once I actually learned how to do them, and I actually started getting better at them, okay, maybe not as many was popping up anymore, but yeah, I would still have models come see me. When I came back from Florida, so we're talking from 2011 to 2014, that was right before Logan started up. Yeah, I was still busting out photo shoots left and right. I was constantly having a bunch of them. Then Logan came around, still popping them out. People love, I won't say they love my work, but there were those that did, and there were those, yes, I'd see something there. There's something there that I like enough to where I'm going to go shoot with them. Then COVID hit. Bam, the floor just fell out at that point. Liz at this time, she was now a lot more available, because the first few years that we were shooting, because she didn't live here in town, it's kind of like we got done with our very first shoot together. I was already planning our second one, which we did our first one in August of 15. We did our second one in March of 16. And then every time before she would leave, I'm already planning out the next time she comes into town to see me. So I've been shooting her. It just kind of started like that.
yeah, but how about non-list shoots?
non-Liz shoots, we'll put it this way. Liz, for the past 4 years now, since COVID, she has accounted for at least a third of my photo shoots. Everybody else, no, it's just like nobody's shooting. I can understand during that first year or so, everybody was going through all the precautions, all the all the sanitizing, all the social distancing and crap. Which then again, we don't have to be this close to take a photo any daggone ways. It's like zoom lenses. But anyways, yeah, even those models that I was still shooting regularly, I had like 7 or 8 of them that they would come around, once a month or sometimes every couple of months, depending on what their schedules looked like. Because they weren't really models. They were just girls that
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, they photographed well. They enjoyed getting in front of the camera. They had fun with me. They just kind of quit doing it. Other things started popping up, and so life took them in a different direction that was no longer in front of anybody's camera because none of them really do anything anymore except for life. And so in the past couple of years, since all the restrictions, everything's been lifted, it's just a matter of going through and trying to find new models to shoot. Now, with the newer ones coming in, again, and I'm having to deal with, okay, for various reasons, I can understand people not wanting to shoot the content that I shoot, okay? And by the way, it's not nothing trashy. It's just anything you can see in a Playboy, basically, or even a Maxim magazine sometimes. But it's still on an artistic level and not a smut level, okay? But there are those out there telling these models, no, you don't want to shoot nudes when you first start. You don't want to shoot, no matter how comfortable they actually may be, they're being told not to. In some cases, it's by photographers who are trying to be white knights that I cannot stand. I love to string them all up. In some cases, it's models who do shoot nudes, but they're getting paid for it. And if you got somebody over here who's basically fresh meat versus somebody over here who's got images all over the place, let's get the fresh meat, So that's just taking work away from them. So it's kind of like everybody's telling people to do things that's into their own best interests somehow or another. I just tell them straight up, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, then you don't do it. Just got to be your decision. You just got to weigh everything. A lot of the girls I shot early on, they didn't care, It's just like, it's me, this is my body, I want to do this, and let's do it. Nowadays, it seems like everybody's so concerned over what anybody and everybody else is going to say. There's like walking on eggshells. I don't like walking on eggshells, which is as you said, when you first became aware of me, very vocal, very vocal. I've had to bite my tongue so many damn times over the past couple of years, it's stupid. I so want to just get in those groups and go off on so many of these people because of what they're saying. It's
The problem with that is, as justified as it may be to a certain group of those people, let's take 1,000-member group, and there's 100 of them that whatever you go off on them saying, they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 900 that feel like you're going on them too, and they're innocents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because
it's kind of like a drive-by shooting.
Yeah, everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it, and
because if you said
and then everybody's your enemy.
Yeah, because it's like you want to call this person, and this person out, but you can't do it even if it's just just something that's opinionated. That if you sit there and you call them out, and you sit there and you state it, this is my opinion. Okay, now, this is no way fact. This is just the way I see it.
That's not how people are going to take it.
That ain't how they're going to take it. They're going to say that's slander, that's libel, that's that. You know, it's kind of, you can't do it as much as you want to. And but one of the reasons why I've just sat there and just kept my mouth shut. Here's my work. You want to work, and that's pretty much the way that I'll do. Like when I do my casting calls in these groups, or if I post them on my fan page, or if I post them on my profile, or any of the socials. It's like, here's what I'm wanting to do. Here's what I'm looking for. Do you want to do it?
Yes or no?
Yes or no. I just got to keep I'll keep casting those nets, and sooner or later somebody's going to get caught in net, and they're going to say, "Yes, I do want to do this. This looks like fun. Let's do it."
Kenny, it's been fun, but I got somewhere I've got to go.
Gotcha.
Give people how to contact you.
Okay. LoganGrayPhotography.com is the website. And Logan Grey Photography will actually, in any social aspect, will pop you up with me.
LOGAN or EN?
A-N and G-R-E-Y.
Not G-R-A-Y.
Right. So it's going to be Logan Grey. Like I said, that'll find you on my...
Everywhere.
Yep, it'll find you everywhere. I think on one of them it says it just goes down to photog because I couldn't get the rest of it in. It was just too long.
He'll get them close enough.
Well, we'll put it this way: if you find my website, it's got all my socials on there, so that's just easy enough to find.
Okay, everyone, Kenny or Logan Grey,
Whatever, I'm good.
and give him a shout if you shoot his type of content.
Yeah, I mean,
He's looking for models.
yeah, just look over the work. If you like what you see, you give me a shout.
And read
The website.
Read it.
Read it.
Comprehensive. There'll be a test.
Yes, there is one. I actually sit there and part of that on the questionnaire. Did you read through it? Yes or no? It says yes, I did, or no, I like to live dangerously.
Put the no in front and
No,
go
that's
check the first box, whatever it says.
constantly.
All right, folks, come back and see us. Thanks.
Kind of like